in which KASAMA Municipal Council is making an appearance before the committee, and that's on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. Keep watching Parliament Television.
Now just to page 2.
Let's go to page 2.
Query number B, irregular identification of projects. Chair, here the story here is that guideline 512 of Constituency Development Fund Guidelines 2022 stipulates that the project identification process requires the WDCs to prepare project lists with input from zones. The projects are required to be in line with the Ward Development Plan, Integrated Development, or any other local development framework. In addition, the project list must be supported by the following. Okay, we jump there, Chair. I just want to bring that background. On the cause of queries, on this one, Chair, your witness are stating that management wishes to acknowledge the observations of the Auditor General on the projects not supported by project lists with inputs from zones was on account of the policy directive guideline on the co-circular number MLG RD/101/22/157 dated 27th December 2022 and the one dated 29th February 2024 as recommended by the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development. Chair, this circular is exhibited on Appendix 2. We go to Appendix 2. These two circulars.
Let's go to Appendix 2. Town Clerk and your team. Yes, Honorable.
Chair, on bulletin, on number 1, I'll just pick a few. The directive on the projects on the circular cited, the Chair, is saying to this effect, all ward development committees and the Constituency Development Fund committees should be guided to make necessary provisions. Even on the second one, for 2024, Chair, is giving the same directive to make necessary provisions. But when you look at the submission from your witness, Chair, they are telling us they omitted the zone because of the directive. Because this directive in the circular is saying they should do what is necessary. And what is necessary is one to act according to the orientation. WDCs are oriented. They are oriented to work together with the zone leaders. So maybe CS and your team in the circular, can you show me a clause which expressly gives you authority to disregard the zones? Also, second question, can this committee know where do the WDCs submit their documents? Then I'll come and link a question to that later. Thank you.
Town Clerk.
Thank you, Chair. I'll seek the indulgence of Director Planning.
Director Planning.
Thank you, Chair. I'll directly speak to the first circular. So in the first circular, Chair, the directives are directed to different actors. Among those actors is the WDC. Some of the directives are directed to the CDFC, and some of the directives are directed directly to the council in terms of implementation of administrative guidelines. So to maybe respond to the question from Honorable Pavyuma, I think there is, in all the guidance that has been provided in this circular, I haven't seen anywhere where they have either guided that we receive these submissions from the WDCs and they say we skip that stage. So, Chair, I can confirm that the directives contained in this circular actually are directed to specific actors, the ones that I've mentioned.
Can you simplify your response? Respond to the question. Where does it explicitly indicate that you exclude the zonal or representatives and the WDCs in the chain of project or CDF implementation?
Chair, from my submission, I'm confirming that there is no such directive that explicitly said that we skip the...
So the query is, why didn't you take, didn't you consult or get input from the zonal as picked by the Auditor General? The zonal committees are created, and this government has done a very good thing in terms of devolution of power. It starts from the bottom, zonal committees to the WDCs to the CDF committee. But you ignored and you relied on the circulars, the two circulars. Can you guide us why you ignored the input of the zonal committees? Your justification was that you are guided by the circulars. So I want to learn, where in the circulars does it give you powers to ignore the structures that I've just highlighted?
Thank you, Chair. Maybe to respond to that, maybe I'll take you to one specific directive in the circular. The one on improved water sanitation systems in public facilities. That is number 4.
Number 4 for the first. Yes, provision of improved water and sanitation systems in public facilities. Yes, sir.
Yes. So this directive is guiding that it is necessary that the WDCs and CDFCs be guided to consider provision of piped and waterborne facilities in public facilities in their jurisdiction. So, Chair, in our situation, we had the projects that were embarked on in 2022, public facility projects that were embarked on in 2022 that had no sanitation and water reticulation systems. So with this guidance, Chair, because these projects were already submitted by the WDCs in the previous year, what we thought we could do was make additional projects so that they have water reticulation and also sanitary facilities in terms of toilets. So the submissions were made in the previous year, but these were additional projects to these projects so that they are made operational. Chair, I submit.
Chair, your witness is not responding to the specific question. This circular, Chair, the first paragraph of this circular, saying pursuant to section 25B of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF Act number 11 of 2018, which allows the minister responsible for local government to provide guidelines on the nature of projects to be undertaken I write to guide that in line with the government policy, underline in line with the government policy, the following should be included in the 2023 report, in line with the government policy. And they've quoted the CDF guideline, number 11 or 20. So at what point in this circular were you guided, expressly guided, to disregard the zones? The way you are explaining is like you have authority to disregard in line with the government policy. And the act is captured there. At what point in the act, show us line, which is expressly giving you authority to disregard the zone leadership. Thank you, Chair.
Before you respond, Planner, I want just to read some of the projects that have been referred to, that were proposed, where you disregarded these structures like zonal committees and WDCs. Number one, for Lukasha, proposed the construction of toilets and the water reticulation at Chiluvanama Rural Health Post. This was not a completion. It is a whole new project. The other two is proposed construction of waterborne toilets and water reticulation at Kanchure Rural Post. When you look at even the figures, these were not completions. So as you respond to that question from Honorable Pavium, I want you to cite. Now, if you cite one of these projects for KASAMA and the Lukasha, you pick one. Tell me that these other, I've mentioned the two, you did consult the zonal committees. Director Planning.
Thank you, Chairperson. With your guidance, maybe I can cite project number 2 for KASAMA.
Start with the ones I've read first.
I'm guiding that we start with the solar water scheme at Nyola Rural Health Post.
I've seen it.
Because this one will actually show evidence that a health post was constructed, but it was without a solar water reticulation system.
I've seen it. I agree with you. That's why I've said the one. If you pick one, now talk to these others. Why did you ignore on the two I've mentioned? I recognize both. I've read this. That one I agree with you. Now, tell me about these others, which were new projects. Why did you ignore those structures? And you referred to the circular. Where in the circular does it tell you to ignore the said structures? You just sit in the council chamber there, in the council offices, without regard to the WDCs. Then you start deciding on projects. Planner.
Chair, maybe I can call upon my colleagues to reinforce my submission. Thank you.
Director Legal.
Yes, Chair.
Your role is to ensure that the procedure is followed in the council.
Yes, it is, Chair. And as asked by the Honorable, there is no clause in the circular which indicates WDCs or the zonal representatives are not supposed to be consulted, because that's the more reason why decentralization needs to be implemented, because development needs to start from the grassroots, Chair. And therefore, I would like to tender my apology, Chair, and I will ensure that I guide according to the laid down procedures, Chair, going forward. Thank you, Chair.
Next question. Honorable Mulunda, you want to come now? Or maybe Stas? Later. Let's start with Dr. Manza.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just summarize. I've got so many, what I've seen, the financial irregularities, the appetite to pay. without going for value for money. The first one would be the road projects. On page page 7. I don't want the council to give the responses. You conclude, the chair. So this is a grading of Mutokwa Kasonde Road, 7 kilometers, and the contractor was paid. The contract price was 1,019,143 kwacha, and paid the 95%. I guess 5% was a retention, but the irregularity is that during the time of audit, there were outstanding works, because the idea of keeping 5% retention is until the contractor has met all his contractual obligations, and then he hands over the project. Later, when there's supposed to be some maintenance works, you use that 5%. But when the auditors visited, there were outstanding works on that particular road. 700 meters of road was not graded, and 1.1 kilometers of the road was equally not compacted. But yet the contractor was already cleared the financials. 95% of the contract price was already paid, which means that 1.1 kilometer, which was uncompacted, and the 700 meters, which was not graded, it will be difficult to call the contractor to come back and compact and grade the road, because he can easily forgo that 5%. He can easily say, use the 5% because to him, that 5% is a defect. It's supposed to be defects correction amount. That is one irregularity. Then the second irregularity is the Lukupa Chakaripa Road on page 9. Similarly, 7-kilometer road. In fact, for this one, it is even more serious, because the contract signed on whether July or September, but the fact is that the contractor was paid 100% before he did any work. We can easily say so. He was paid 100%, meaning the contract price of 1,105,834 kwacha, he was paid to the exact amount, with the evidence of 2 payment vouchers, one amounting to 939,959, then another one 165,675, paid to the exact amount, and he was paid. All these payments were done within 1 month of the contractor possessing site. This contract was supposed to be for 3 months, so his contractual financial obligations were met within 1 month, leaving 2 months before the end of the contract. He was paid 100%. Now, what would the contractor do in the last 2 months? Is paid, and when the auditors visited the site, they found that about 400 meters of the road was not done, and compaction of 6.6 kilometers was not done. I wonder what compaction, whether you put the gravel and leave it like that. So 6.6 kilometers was not done, but the contractor was paid in full. So how would you call the contractor to compact the road? Even the action taken is saying, on page 10, the action is saying 0.4 kilometers of works are done and the 7 kilometers works are complete. You wonder, which funds did the contractor use now? Because he was paid in full within 1 month. And the time that the auditors went there in 2024, they found that 400 meters was not done. So this 400 meters was done after the auditors left KASAMA. But which funds did they use to do that road? Then on page 11, I'm just talking about the appetite for council to breach public finance expenditure. On page 10, on page 11, on page 11, the excess expenditure on grants, that is the youth and women empowerment. The total budget for this particular component was 2,143,065 kwacha, but the disbursements, they went in excess of 280,722, meaning they spent in total 2,423,787. So spending this much, the excess, where did they get excess? The authorities and projects suffered, maybe community project, community component, or something like this, because we don't see any extra funding to the authority. And then page 12, poor workmanship of Colway Bridge. You spend money. The picture is on page 13. This is the completed works according to the contractor. Completed works, but the embankment is heavily eroded, which shows that there is no access through this bridge, because the approach through the embankment is heavily eroded, and the contractor paid 100%, and the defects liability period is already expired. Then you go to page 15. So it's all. You go to page 15. This Chikula 1x3 classroom block. The 1x3 classroom block at Chikula was paid 95%, and defects not corrected. The roofing, walls, ceilings, painting, and decorations delayed for 10 months, but contractor paid to. Even on page 16, it is about the maternity wing at Kasakula Rural Health Center. Similar situation, contractor is paid 95%, yes, leaving a retention. But you leave a retention, when, how do you leave a retention when the contractor has uncompleted works? Retention is reserved when the contract has been handed over, so that during the defects liability period, that is when you can use that money. Then on page 17 is embankment of the bridge at the Moboshi River. Similar situation, the contractor is paid in full, and the works have been stored at the project had stored with graveling and compacting works still outstanding after 16 months, which is 1 year, 1 year, 4 weeks. So how do we deal with the issue of contract management when you pay in advance before the works are certified correctly done? Now, even you go to page 4. Page 4 now, where you give out loans. When you give out loans, you expect that you recover. Because for contracts, at least you find that contractors are giving you some, the contractors are working for their money, but now you give out loans. Page 4, and evidenced through Appendix 3, how many loan beneficiaries. In short, all the disbursements for 2023, nothing, nobody, not zero, no, there's no recovery. So if you can go to Appendix 4, you will see the records that out of all the beneficiaries, not even at the time of audit, there was no recovery of the loans. So this is the situation where you pay in advance to the contractors without following laid down procedures in terms of retention, and the most serious one is about the road, the Lukupa Chakalipa road, where the contractor is paid 100% and yet he never did anything on site.
Thank you, Doc.
Thank you so much. Submit.
I think in conclusion, that is what we can say. We want the people of KASAMA to see that the monies that the government are giving to KASAMA and Lukasha Council are not being utilized accordingly. We want the people of Zambia. It is quite a betrayal of trust to government if you officers are doing what you are doing contrary to the expectation. It's quite sad when we read these reports and we look at you. Sometimes we feel that we are being unfair to you. But when you read and you are a Zambian, you are a member of this committee, you start wondering, where are we taking our country? The titles remain director, town clerk, legal. These are big titles. But are we living to the expectation of our positions? The answer is no. Just to add on to what my colleagues have indicated, when you go to page 18, I want also to show you page 17, starting from 17, stored works embankment of a bridge at Mboshi River. He mentioned about it. A contractor is paid 777,779 kwacha, leaving a balance of 111. Out of 800, a physical inspection carried out on 16 February 2020 revealed that the project had stored with graveling, compacting works still outstanding for a delayed period of 16 months. 16 months. And yet this contractor has been paid substantial. This is fraud. 16 months is a year plus 4 months. The other is on page 16. Delayed completion of works, construction of maternity wing at Kasakula Rural Health Center. Total project cost 1,019,660 kwacha. It was given to Swadocom Trading Limited. It was expected to complete in April 2023. A physical inspection carried out in February 2024 revealed that the project had not been completed for a delayed period of 56. I don't know if these are weeks, should be weeks. Included in the outstanding works, plumbing was not done, internal painting, you can see. And yet this contractor was paid. Now, you refer this committee to Appendix 11. When you go to Appendix 11, there is no completion certificate. What was the basis of paying this contractor this money? The other one, town clerk, is on page 15. Delayed completion of a classroom block at Chikula Primary School. The contract price 690,896. It was supposed to be completed in November 2023. As at February 28, 2024, amounts totaling 518 were paid. 172. A physical inspection carried out in May 2024 revealed that the structure had not been roofed. However, completion of flooring and other things, decorations were done. There is no approval from CDF. Variations were not done. This project is still under, is it procurement or is still incomplete? It is not completed up to now. Now you are wondering, this is 2025. This was done in 2023. A 1x3 classroom block, depriving the people of Chikula area of KASAMA. Why? Because of the officers. The other thing that is very grave also, failure to avail progress reports. During the period under review, 5 interim payment certificates were issued. Payments amounting to 904,615 were made to a contractor. However, the progress reports supporting payments were not availed for audit as at August 2024. You, as a council, you can refuse to give details to an auditor who visits you. This is how far we have reached in local government, KASAMA Council. A contract which was supposed to be completed in August 2024. Up to now, it is still outstanding. Documents as at August, when auditors went there, you refused to show them, to give them documents. The last two. I can go on and on. Dr. Mwanza has done it. See, bad report. When you look at loan repayments, we go to page 4. Non-performing loans. $1.5 million was given and the people are not paying. Page 4. As at August 2024, the loans had not been paid. Where is the council? And your response? You say council acknowledges the observation of the auditors and wishes to report that at the time of audit, the banks were not the banks were engaging the loan beneficiaries. My question, which one was the Honorable Munda is even smiling there. You don't do anything. You are the people who identify these people in your communities. You are just using the bank to disburse the money. No one is paying. No one is making a follow-up. The planners are there. Socio-economic planners are there. Town clerk is there. DF is there. Nothing is being done. And you are saying that in the bank, we have engaged the bank to follow up. Do they know these villages? Where these people come from? Do we understand our role as a council? And the Minister of Local Government was in the area there, has indicated that the people should pay back these loans. Why are we not supporting that? When the minister talks like that, it's policy. The president has said that, it's policy. But in KASAMA, this is the scenario. It's quite sad. There is on page 7 to 8. 7. Let's go, the last one now. I forgot one. Grading and graveling of Mutokwa Kasonde Road. 1,072,787. The contractor paid 107,278 on 3rd January 2024 as a final payment before works could be completed. Before the contractor completes the work, he is paid the final payment. Who are these contractors in KASAMA? Who are they connected to? Are they council officers, contractors? Who are they? That you can be dishing out money meant to develop KASAMA, to give a good service, a good road, a good health post. You are sharing money with contractors even before they do work. If it was a politician, would be facing the jail. If it is a politician, would be facing jail. What you are doing in KASAMA. But these council officials, yourselves, this is normal. We hear in countries like Uganda, in sessions like this, the police is there. We are yet to get that. Because people have lost fear. You are immune. You can't do it. Whatever you do here is normal. If you look at this borders on financial crimes. But nothing will happen to you. You'll be transferred, promoted. If it was a politician, this could have been an issue. This matter should be cascaded to you people. Our committee, it's sad, we are Zambians. We speak with emotions because we believe that with political will to develop this country has come now. No wonder, honorable members, when they first announced the 2022 CDF, there was jubilation among council workers. People were wondering, this is the thing. You can start suspecting. KASAMA needs, like other councils we have recommended, it needs law enforcement agencies through the ministry to move in and to bring to book all those officers who are involved in this. You cannot be dishing out money meant for roads. Before a road is even handed over, it is worn out that no, they are doing a diversion. Where is the direct engineering? When people are digging a culvert, you bring contracts here, manufacturing documents. It's criminal. Dated July 2025. Where on earth? If I was at the commission, I don't need to have a session on this one. Whoever is involved on this one, you can't bring a document. It's an indictment to all of you. When you are bringing this document, what are you trying to do? You are looking at this committee. We are just human. We have been just put here by Madam Speaker on behalf of the Zambian people. You are doing that to the people of KASAMA. You are doing that to the people of Rukasha. You are doing that to the people of Zambia. You come up with a document, fabricate information, dated July 2025. No, these auditors, here is a document. You can't do that. Do you love your country, town clerk? Do you love your country, sure, Zambians, your people? And it's a municipal council. You are called town clerks, director, what? How do we assess you? I always say that if this is the major assessment too, most of you cannot be there. The beauty about this town clerk, as I conclude, we have model councils who are doing very well, even in your area. Go there and learn from them. Go to Mwense, go to Chifunabuli, go to Chembe, go to Shangombo, go to Vubwi. Doing very well. No audit query on specific findings. Zero. They just talk cross-cutting issues. How did we administer this? There is a Mafinga Council. The same qualifications you have. Attitude. You are sabotaging your country. For us as a committee, we can end there, but it's quite emotional. We can't believe this is what you are doing. You don't need to chase someone at the market who has stolen a tomato for 5 kwacha. You are leaving council officers who are conniving with contractors, defrauding the council of resources. This is not fair to this country. I want to remove the immunity that was conferred on you. You go back and put your house in order, if at all that will happen. The attitude doesn't speak that there can be any change anywhere. We thank you very much for the time that you have been with us.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Well, there you have it. KASAMA Municipal Council has made its submission before the Committee on Local Government Accounts, and that's on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023. And it was led by the acting town clerk, that's Ms. Catherine Kavungu. And still to make an appearance before the Committee on Local Government Accounts today, we still have 2 local authorities, that's Lunte Town Council and Luwingu Town Council. Keep watching Parliament Television, the only station that brings Parliament closer to you.
Here is an announcement. The National Assembly of Zambia requests for expressions of interest for consultant services to undertake a feasibility study on the development of the National Assembly of Zambia Hotel Complex. Expressions of interest must be deposited in the tender box situated at the National Assembly of Zambia offices, plot number 5030 Olympia, Parliament Road, Lusaka, on or before Thursday, 5th June 2025 at 10:30 hours local time. Late submissions shall not be accepted. For more information on the scope of assignment, duration of the assignment, qualifications, experience and technical competences, and eligibility criteria, visit the National Assembly of Zambia website www.parliament.gov.zm. Interested firms may obtain clarification during office hours from 08 hours to 17 hours from Monday 29th April 2025 to Wednesday, 21st May 2025. For details, contact the Acting Clerk, the National Assembly of Zambia, PO Box 31299, Lusaka, telephone number +260 211 29 2425 up to 36.
Treat yourself to some warming entertainment this May on Top Star for just 210 kwacha on